But in this video, I'm going to talk about the three biggest challenges that we had during the first 3 weeks of building our A-frame. Hey everybody, this is Tom Williams, and welcome back to the Lost Miner YouTube channel. As you can see, I'm back in Houston. I've been here I came back last Monday, got here, I guess it would be Tuesday, about 1:30 in the morning. So spending lots of time this week recovering physically and catching up on, it seems like 1,000 things that I have to catch up on here with work, things at home, just lots of different things that I missed out on here over the last few weeks. And I've gone ahead and I've organized a lot of my video clips. I've got tons of material that I recorded, so I'm sorting through that, and plan is to get the first video showing us building for next Saturday or Sunday. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the three biggest challenges that we had during the first 3 weeks of building our A-frame. So if you've been following so far, you know that we started with nothing. We did our layout, built our concrete piers, and then started building the actual cabin all the way through getting the roof installed. And I'll go back in another week to go ahead and continue with the build. Okay, what I'm going to do right here is, in talking through the three biggest challenges that we had, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I've got some video loaded in Adobe Premiere that I use for editing, and I'm going to use that to talk through everything. Okay, and if it wasn't for these challenges that we had to work through, I mean, it's great because it's a learning opportunity. It's just going to make us better on our next build. But they've really caused delays, and I really feel like if we would have done things a little bit different, that we could have even shaved off probably a week getting to the point of having our roof installed. So hopefully this is really good information for you guys if you plan on doing something where you've got completely undeveloped land and trying to build something yourself. And we're under budget constraints, and I think most people probably are if they're doing this. But obviously, if we had, if we could have hired somebody to come in and do access, and a lot of site work before we went out there, that would have helped out. But as you can see here in this drone video, this is the main road coming to our property, and then this is our build site over here. And that was probably, and we used 6,000 pounds of concrete for our concrete piers. So we had everything laid out here that was delivered to our property, our concrete, lumber, all of that. And then for the concrete, since we didn't have a road going up to the property, we had to walk bag by bag. Each bag's 80 pounds. And that was a huge physical drain, and then it was really time consuming as well. Over the 3 weeks that I was out there, I lost 10 pounds total. So it was a lot of work. What we ended up doing, and let me show you, kind of go into the next clip. So this is from another angle, so you can kind of see us walking up to the property. So we just kind of, walked all of our bags of concrete up, and then just kind of staged them here, and then finished doing our, started mixing with the concrete and pouring the piers. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here. Okay, one thing you notice, so we've got all this lumber laid out. Originally what we were trying to do to get, after we did our layout and we got our sonotubes put in there, we put the lumber kind of crosswise to support it so it wouldn't move. That is completely unnecessary, and we ended up not doing it. There's a much better method for doing that. Actually, what you do is, once you get all of your sonotubes in there, you're ready to pour concrete, you can just put a level on top of your sonotube. Once the bubble is completely in the middle, it's centered, all you have to do is get some dirt and then start filling in the gaps around the sonotube tube on the side, and then it keeps it from moving. And then pile the dirt around it and then start pouring in. There's no need to do what you'll see here, and you'll see it in video whenever I post it. So what would have saved us time and what we ended up doing was after we did the concrete piers is we ended up making a road just using our pickup truck there. So basically I just walked the route that I wanted for the driveway anyway. And then even though one thing we were scared of is everything is sharp out there. The cactus, I mean, they're unreal. So we didn't want to puncture it. We didn't want to puncture our tires. But anyway, we went ahead and took the chance and basically just drove back and forth until you could really see the road. Of course, each trip we made, we were carrying something we had to load. So if we would have done that from the very beginning, just putting all the concrete in the pickup truck and then driving all the way up there, that would have saved us a lot of effort and time. So yeah, we ended up not getting a flat tire or anything like that, thank goodness. And now knowing that it's the type of tires we had, it wasn't really a big risk. We would have done that from the beginning. Okay, now the second biggest challenge was actually raising the triangle frames after we were done. After we were done building all of them. I believe it was 14 triangles in all that we had to build. And the first one, it gets difficult until you get up to, I would say, close to the halfway point, just because you don't have a whole lot. Nothing's rigid. It's just, even whenever you put up your supports, you see I've got a brace here on the back. As we raised them, we would brace it on the sides. It just really doesn't start getting rigid until you start getting your siding, your sheathing on the roof. So what we did starting out is we used a rope on each end to pull it up, and then tied off the rope on each end of the beam, and that would keep it from moving back and forth. And then once we got up to about this point, you can see what we did. We started from the beginning. Okay, you see these braces right here. So first we lifted up the triangle just high enough to where you could put a 2x4x8 right here in this area. And this is a time you really got to be careful, because if something shifts on those and it falls, it can fall down on you, which could be really dangerous. And then out of these 20-foot 2x6s we had, we cut them to 18 feet. And then basically I got some screws, one really long screw, and then screwed it into place. And this is going up the board, probably, yeah, about 10 feet, about 10 feet. Okay. And then, so you'll see what we did. So once we got the triangle up, supported by our 2x4s, we would grab each end of these 2x6x18s that were screwed into the triangle, and then we would just lift them from there. You can see our bracing here on top. So we basically put it to what looked like vertical, and then go ahead and set it right there. And then basically, I'm going to fast forward. You can see I'll walk up on the side. There we go. Okay, there I'm checking the supports that we put. I believe those are called scabs that we put on the beams. So we put the scabs on the beams at the mark so that whenever we pushed it, it wasn't going to move past those pieces of wood that we put. So then I would just walk, kind of climb up there, and then go ahead and use a level to try to get it plumb, and then go ahead and screw it in and the bracing. Okay, so that's the second part that was probably the biggest challenge. Okay, then it starts, once you start getting, you see I have OSB on the sides here. We would put OSB as we went. and that really started making things very rigid and strong. And then once we got the loft section done, we put 3/4 inch plywood up there. And so basically I would climb up there, sit, my son would tie a rope down here at the bottom, lift it, and then I would pull the rope up all the way until the triangle was in place. Once it was in place, I would then take the end of that rope and just tie it onto one of the other rafters for safety, so it wouldn't move while I was getting the triangle plumb. And one thing I'll tell you guys, building with wood, the desert's not a good place to build with wood for first of all. But once the desert draws out the moisture way too quick out of the wood, so it starts warping, bending, twisting, things like that. So it's a constant fight trying to get things plumb, square. We had to use clamps, things like that. Even once we would brace it halfway, we'd have to use a rope tied around the top of the triangle, pull it, try to get it straight up and down. We did the best we can, and happy with how it ended up overall. Okay. The third challenge was the roof. And you can see once you get up high, it doesn't look like it in the camera that high, but we had to get, and this was my son's job right here, we'd prop the OSB up on our ladder, and then my son would climb up on the ladder and just kind of, muscle it up until he got, and push it up in place until he got it to where it needed to be. And then once he got it up to where it needed to be, he'd put like 1 or 2 screws in there, and then I would climb up and then do the rest. This is the area that's the most difficult that you see right here, because you don't have any steps to prop it up on. So it's just, you really got to kind of balance it while you're up there, and you really feel like you're up high. And if the wind's blowing, it's it's even more difficult. It's definitely a little bit scary, and I would say even until you get used to it, but even after you get used to it, if you've got a little wind blowing, it's pretty scary to do. But that's the way we had to do it, and it worked for us. I've seen others do this method as well. Okay, and then putting on the final roofing. And I'm going to stop it here. One thing about the type of roof, we used R-panel roofing. It's from a company called Mueller here in Texas. And beautiful roofing, really like the product, but I wish I had more training material on it. I did research, watch YouTube videos on how to do it. Even with that, I started installing things wrong. So you can see this piece right here on the right, that's called the rake trim. For some reason, I was thinking I ordered eave trim too, but I tried getting this rake trim and then putting it on the bottom, then realized what I was doing wrong. And then we put it on the side, but we had it on backwards. Oh, it was crazy. So we lost a whole morning, if not more, just trying to get started correctly. And it's, while you're out there in the heat, everything's heavy, it's uncomfortable, it's easy to get frustrated really quick. So you just got to have as much patience as possible. So, and these these are over 20-foot long pieces of metal too. It's pretty heavy. So basically what what you have to do is just put all of your metal roofing in place first, and then you go back and you put your rake trim, and then the last thing you put your ridge cap on there. And there's pieces of foam that come with it as well. And we couldn't figure out where the foam went. There was 2 different styles, and we finally figured it out, after we got basically the roofing done. There's a piece that goes under the entire bottom of your roofing, and then there's a piece that goes underneath the ridge cap right here. Okay, now to show you guys how the roofing turned out when we were done. Just did a 360 with the drone. And I'll tell you, getting to this point is very rewarding, especially knowing that you've got shade to work in out there in the sun. So I know it's going to be a challenge. I'm going to face many more challenges while we finish out this build, but being out there, being able to work, we've got to build the deck right here. We'll be out in the sun, but we can manage that to where we do that in the morning. This is the east, so while it's in the shade, we can do that work. Then work inside. And you can see right here where the dome is in proximity to the A-frames. It was nice having a place close by to sleep. And that is it, guys. So that gets you guys caught up on where we're at and what the three biggest challenges we were. Hopefully hopefully talking through those things will help you if you plan on doing something like this yourself. If you haven't followed already or just visiting this channel, please follow. Also, let me know if you have any questions. I've started getting some questions in. Really enjoy interacting with you guys in the comments section. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.